So my name is Dr. Michelle Batsheba Maangis. I'm a veterinary surgeon, and yeah, that's basically my career. But part time, I also do content creation with my husband. We are mainly focused on creating content around family, around lifestyle, and marriage. Yeah.
Nice. My name is Samuel Maangis. By training, I'm a communication consultant. I pretty much dive into a lot of aspects of communication. I have had an experience with media for corporate as well. So right now, I'm pretty much into digital marketing and whatnot.
Nice.
That's my professional training. I'm a husband. I was going to say I'm a handsome husband. I'm a husband and also a content creator as well.
So, how did you two meet, and what were your first impressions of each other?
Before you damage my rep, okay? Allow me to do this too.
Okay.
So, nearly, okay. Back then when I was still in ministry, well, I'm still in ministry, but active ministry where I was going around preaching, conducting panel discussions and whatnot. I got the privilege and the invitation to go to Nakuru Girls High School. I think it's a national school. I think so. Yeah, so I got that privilege to go there, and I was in service where I saw a very beautiful small girl from afar. Yeah, right now I've done some good work on it. So I spotted her. We had a good panel discussion. While I was conducting a panel discussion in the afternoon, it was on Saturday. We had Adventists, so we were having a discussion on Sabbath afternoon on things that the girls would like the girls to know about their career and whatnot. So I was doing a hand selection that I saw her. I was like, I like that girl to be here. And in the panel discussion, she spoke her mind, and I saw how well she presented her thoughts. I was like,
My future.
thank God, I've seen her. But then I had this habit of, I wasn't the person to go and ask for someone's number. So, of course, I spotted her, and after the discussion, when we were going home, she photo boomed. You forced yourself in my pictures. But I had the intention to talk to her, but I couldn't because now there's this a cappella boys who are just around her all the time. So my assumption at the time was she's probably dating one of them. So I was like, I don't want to be the one to come, and I don't want to be a home wrecker. So I was like, you know what? Oh well, impossible. Because these guys were just holding all over you. They were just over you that time. You just don't come and like ukonachali ama. It's just not nice, not polite. You know, and you see, I'm from service, and so I was in a pedestal of some sort. So I was like, hey, let me just not be that kind of person. Let me just move on. Then years later, when I was. Do you need me to?
COVID.
Yeah, during COVID. Yes, later during COVID. When I was taking a stock of my social media pages, and I went to my Facebook, I was like, oh, how comes I know everyone here, including the students, but I don't know this lady? I was like, okay, who's she? And I knew in the back of my mind that there's a possibility she's my friend. So I went to my list of 4,000 friends on Facebook. Remember, I don't know her name. I know nothing. I just have a picture. So I went through the photos. Well, as my wife likes to say it, I gave up because at least 4,000 people see Kidogo, and her name starts with Michelle. It's somewhere down there if you're going with alphabetical order. So I went through, I got tired. Now there's a friend of mine called Brian. We were with him at my place, and I was like, hey bro, sichoke. If you're looking for a wife, you need to push. Keep pushing. And I was like, man, if it wasn't to, like, if I was to then I was like, I sort of gave up. But I was tired. I wouldn't say I gave up. I was tired. So then he jumped in, like, let me look through. And then he spotted her. I was like, you found her, nice. Now tell me
how
you DM someone you've never talked to.
Yes.
You only remember you're together.
And this was 3 years after.
Yeah, no, that's around 2 years and a few months. Yeah. I was like, okay, how do you what's the best pickup line on social media? I went to the old school classical way. So we are friends. Send. And the moment I send that message, I shut down the computer. Like, bro, let's go. I'm not ready to see the reply because so we are friends. So that's how we started. So we are friends.
Yeah.
That's how
Basically,
we met.
that's it, and the rest is history.
No. After I texted her, she replied.
Oh.
There's that.
Kusumbuana kidogo.
Yes, and then I got her number.
Yeah.
Then after that, we made the first meeting, and after our first meeting was a picnic. It's a picnic
At
day.
Tigaton
First meeting.
Castle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lady.
Nilikuwa ile COVID.
If you want
Kuna
it
curfew,
you
kuna
would.
Yo, I said this. The first meeting has got to be a banger. So he left from Nairobi to Nakuru.
With curfew.
It was during curfew days. Yeah. Yeah.
Who have
Na hiyo time curfew ilikuwa 6 ya 6 ya jioni.
Yeah.
Kwani si tunadate akina nani?
I mean,
The standards so high.
my gosh. Your first meeting is KFC or where?
I
Bus stop.
I don't even want to say.
So yeah.
Inaweza kuwa
Yeah,
tiru.
but that's how it was.
That's our first meeting.
Yeah.
was.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
pretty. What did you think about him when you just saw him for the first time? After the 2 years.
I knew him. Apparently, I knew him. It was not like the first time I'm seeing him because he was a host on a show on Hope Channel Kenya. So Hope Channel Kenya is like an Adventist channel.
Yes.
So he would host a youth show that was called The Identity. And in the Adventist circles, that show was so famous. Like youths in the Adventist circles knew about that show. So I got to know him through my mom because my mom used to watch that show. So my mom was like, kuja uone kipindi ya vijana ni mzuri blah blah blah. So I saw him the first time. And when I saw him the first time I was like, this guy looks good. Yeah.
I'm not just going like, damn, oh my god.
He just looked good.
Okay.
Yeah, so by the time we are going to Nakuru Girls, I had seen him already. So I already knew, like, I know him, I've seen him on TV, this guy looks good. I wouldn't mind if he was my boyfriend, but he looks good.
Just say you had a crush on me, but it's okay. There's no harm. You're my wife now.
I had a crush on you.
Yes,
but
confess.
alikuwa ananilenga. Yeah, but alikuwa
My
ananilenga.
lord.
So
Okay.
guys, akanilenga the whole day hata kuniongelesha, but nikaamua tena kupiga picha. Najiingisha. So watu wapige picha. Sijali unaweza pata bwana yako kwa hiyo picha. Yeah, and that picture saved my marriage. Yeah.
Saved you from singlehood and the streets
And led into
and
marriage.
the harsh, hostile streets
Yeah.
to marriage.
Yes. Yeah.
God bless you for
Number
that
one.
photo. Take photos. You never know.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so beautiful.
Thank you.
Please take us through your courtship journey. You obviously like him.
Yes.
And he's
Not
pretending.
like me.
You
Crash.
don't like me?
You know,
You did also like crab at crush on me.
I did.
Yeah.
I was.
You see?
Babe,
Yeah, but anyway, about our like dating and courtship, we dated for 2 years and like 7 months, and then we got married. Yes. Of course, kulikuwa na kusumbuana. Initially, when we started dating, my husband's plan was to get married because when he asked me to be his girlfriend, I'm dating you for marriage. If that's not your purpose, let's just leave it at this point because he made it clear we are doing this for marriage. And at the time he wanted to settle down, but sasa mimi nilikuwa shule nikamwambia baba yangu akubali eti niolewe saa hii badala nisome. West. So I asked him like just give me some time. I think I was in my 4th year. Yeah, so I told him wacha nimalize, my course was 5 years, so nikamwambia at least nikimaliza hata nikiingia internship hiyo time tunaweza panga. Yeah, so we had to wait until now I finished, graduate, ndo to bring conversations sasa ya marriage. Yeah, but of course kulikuwa na ups and downs. Tebu yaongeza points.
I'm looking at her right now, and I'm like, a memory just comes to my mind of a time that we had like a string of arguments for close to 5 months. And it was just back-to-back arguments. and every time when you'd have arguments, I think at that time I'm the one who nilikuwa naona hizi shida mob zenye like me I want to settle down, you bring me back, and just a lot of things that relate to repurpose. So when she used to bring it up, I was like, hapana, like I had a proper lineup of how my dating period was going to go, and just these normal issues. So in the 5 months when we are actually having like a tough situation in a courtship, she used to tell me something that I appreciated then and I still appreciate right now. You want to tell them?
No, you can just say it.
She used to tell me, hata kasereke bado utanioa.
Yeah, I used to remind
Ni
hata
mimi tu.
whereby I didn't want to
Ni mimi tu.
mimi tu bado ni mimi utaoa.
And you see that reassurance.
Mi ndo niko.
Yeah, that reassurance of knowing, okay, we're having a bad time, yes, but her presence then, the willingness to make it work, made that 5 months bearable. And I'd say, if not for the 5 months, I wouldn't be enjoying my marriage this much. Like, I'd say the precedents that we set during our courtship made the transition more easier and made intentionality more practical, that even in our marriage, we're more intentional in conflict resolution. We're more intentional about meeting each other's needs and whatnot. And also understanding that our marriage is not just centered on earth, is heavenly based. So just having that purpose. And by the way, I understand that the guys who actually use that line of, I'm dating you for the purpose of marriage. You see, it's been a common line now that guys that's like more of an enticer there.
Yeah.
So
Just string you along.
just to string you along for an X period of time.
Yes.
So I think the words have to go hand in hand with action. So I think just being deliberate about communicating all these things from jump and actually setting timelines, goals, and making that progression in relationship and courtship more intentional reassured her of my intentions of being with her during that courtship period. And I'd say I should have married her sooner, but
masomo.
So during that 5 months, was there a specific argument that you're like, you know what, you can go to hell, I don't want anything to do with you?
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Me I can remember. Okay, not to every detail.
Yeah.
So remember, it was like we started off as a long distance relationship.
Yes.
I'm in Nairobi, she's in Nakuru.
So I was in campus in Egerton University.
Yeah.
So it
The
was
person in Nairobi.
exactly.
It's always ish.
And remember, okay, so for us, we made our first year deliberate that we didn't tell people that we're dating. Reason being, I'm this Adventist celebrity.
Every
socialite.
Adventist knew him. Like I don't think there was an Adventist who didn't know him.
Yeah.
And so we were afraid that if we came out immediately and told people, we are dating, and even post about it, we will get so much information. Like watu wangeza kuni poison akili yangu about him without me first knowing him.
Yeah.
So we said this 1 year I'm going to know you for who you are without people knowing even I'm dating you, so that once we reveal it, hata mtu akuja kuniambia I already know what type of a person he is. Yeah, and that totally worked because immediately after the first year, nilipoa story mingi kumhusu kila mtu, but at that point I was sure of the person I am dating, so there was no convincing that he would have told me. Yeah.
So considering that, so that also it compared to the 5 months. You see, like I used to tell her things that I did in the past, and then you see, because again we're that set, like humans a relationship, so there'll be a lot of questions on principle. So is this who you are? And you see such arguments. Then we pick up a story about exes and whatnot. So like there was a lot that we argued a lot about. And also I think that time when we were arguing, you also had an opportunity to come and see me in Nairobi. So you see that period, it was just a lot. But that intentionality to realize, tuna argue sawa, but goal yetu ni hatuachani. Marriage is the end, so this has to work.
Yes.
Has to work. We need to find a balance and understanding so that we're never going to talk about this in marriage. Period.
Yeah. So what made you realize he was the one?
So initially when he told me that he was dating for marriage, I was like, okay. Like it wasn't a big deal for me. I was like, I think I am like, it's an age where somebody will say, I really want to settle down. So for me, that was not it was just, okay, you are dating for marriage.
It's another line.
It was just another line. But I think during our dating period, even before he asked me to be his girlfriend, a reason that I really, I saw that this was the guy I would want to settle with, I saw a priest in him. Like, he would pray over everything. Like, even after we have an argument, he will say, let's pray about it, that we don't end up in a similar situation. So I love that bit about him, where he used to pray over things and tell me, okay, we have this, can you pray over it? Like, we were intentional. Because he used to tell me, if this relationship is not going to make us reach heaven, there's no need of us being in. Like, if I'm not helping you reach heaven, why are we dating? And so for me, that felt like, this is amazing. I've not met somebody who has shown me this perception. Yeah.
Oh, as well.
Yes.
So being a guy, the first things for me checked out. She's beautiful.
She is.
Aish! She was, is, and will be beautiful.
Thank you.
In my eyes, and all her physical attributes were just matching to, wow, this is it, God. This is the full package. And also, I don't know if this is going to be controversial, but I also wanted to be with someone who's learned, so that we are going to have intellectual discourse, not just emotional and whatnot. So that if Ikifike place Kombela investment, like, she would get the grasp of where we want our life to go. That's one. And I found that in her. And I think that made me realize that she's the one, apart from the physical attributes. You see, leo tunasema character, now it now boiled down to character. And just to see how intentional she was, reciprocating to love, affection. And I think also this thing that we started without knowing, but it became more intentional even as we went through our courtship, was conflict resolution.
Yeah.
Like, always
For sure.
always understanding that, yes, we're arguing about this, but we need to resolve it. We need to more of make a way forward so that we don't get ourselves in this position. Just practicing that during our courtship period gave us the understanding that, but then she's here to stay. She's here to stay. And also something else about what we did after the first year, we made our relationship public. Now, in the circles that we had, it got magnified because with what I was doing then as a media person, so it got magnified then. So when all these things were coming to her, she'd be like,
I know that.
I know my person.
He's not. I know.
Yeah.
Tell me something new.
Not new.
Yeah.
And so watching her receive all that, and she decided to stick with me, I'm like, kama deal na hiyo, twende nayo. So that's reassurance of, I'm here to stay. The intentionality of conflict resolution and whatnot, and also her introducing me at the onset to the most important people in her life. That's her friends, her close friends, her family, and in this case, I'm not saying the father. No.
Just the
No.
brothers.
Just the brothers.
Fans.
The brothers, to warm the seat
ground.
for me when the time comes.
Yes.
So just seeing how she included me in most of these things, and also decision making. We started making decisions together after the first year, and seeing how we were pretty much aligning ourselves to each other, and we are doing this together. That made me know she's here to stay, and she's the one for me. Yeah.
How did he ask you to be his girlfriend? You know, most of us just assume we are someone's girlfriend. Did he ask?
Yeah, he asked it properly because we met in March of 2020 when COVID had just hit, and then kulikuwa na hiyo kuzungushana, and then now he asked me officially to be his girlfriend in August.
Please, today I want you to clarify that I actually did a chase, because you always argue that I never did a proper chase. I chased.
It was yeah, but anyway, in August. In August on the 11th, I remember it was on the 11th. Yeah, we had a candlelit dinner. Yeah, and then he went on his knees and asked me if I can be his girlfriend.
Oh God.
Yeah. To that
Intentionality.
Yes, so he asked me officially to be his girlfriend. Yes.
Wow.
Mm.
Are you getting the tips? So
Yes.
in your period of 2 years and 7 months, that's when you're dating.
Yes.
Which was the hardest part
Mm-hmm.
of your dating history in those 2 years and 7 months
Mm-hmm.
until where you come now to where he gets to propose to you?
Okay. Which was the hardest?
Speak for yourself. Me, I don't know. Maybe you struggled and I didn't know.
Funny enough, I don't remember the hardest bit. What was your hardest bit?
Well, my hardest bit, honestly, I don't remember. I'm joking. I'm just joking.
I don't feel there was such a big
Yeah.
hurdle.
You've never broken up, guys.
No, we have never broken up.
Remember, for us,
Yes.
the principle is we are not. There's no taking breaks.
Hata kusema tuchukue break.
What is
Hata
that?
sijai block.
Lala,
Hata nilikuwa nasema,
Lamba glucose. We are doing this for
Yeah.
life. At I'm taking a break where?
yeah, we
At
have
you need a
never-
2 week break where? Break up and then what? We are here. We resolve it. Because again, remember this thing for us it's precedence. When you start that precedence, you're taking a 2 weeks break. So what you guys are going to have, like you guys are going to hit a rock in your marriage. You're going to take a 2 weeks break.
Yeah.
You're there.
I think
Fix
at the
it.
time we didn't have any big hurdles. There were just these basic fights that you have where he has a different opinion, I have a different opinion, so we are trying to all fit in. Yeah, I wouldn't say there was something major, honestly. Yeah.
And also to add to it, you see, we're in a society where people are exposed, and there are these ideologies that come in, and people ride on it without understanding the extent of it. I'd say we had like a full extensive discussion about these opinions, grounds to do with feminism and whatnot. Like there are those pillar arguments that people can have, and for us to actually discuss them both intellectually and emotionally, and also infusing spiritual teachings to give us a more clearer direction, made us see eye to eye on most of these things. So I wouldn't say we had like a big hurdle per se, because again we also more inclined towards our spiritual teachings. So issues to do with infidelity and whatnot. For us it was not really an argument, because it was like, we're doing this, so we might as well wait.
Yeah.
We might as well, because again hakuna pale naenda.
Wow.
Yeah, and then tulikuwa long distance. Sasa hata arguments si mingi.
Si mingi.
Yeah.
Most girls dream of their proposal. Some of them is kamusi. You don't even know if you're married. You just went there and went to your clothes there.
Ukajipata.
Ukajipata tu. Miaka mbili.
Yes.
2 years later you're still there.
You're still
With
there.
that 1 or 2 suitcases, with an addition of another extra bag.
Yes.
Please give us in details.
Yeah.
The proposal, because now it looks like you're living my dream now, and my
Wow.
dream is there.
So we had talked about our proposal, and we wanted to do it after we have done our introduction to our parents. The reason being, we did not want to do a proposal alafu mnakuja mnaambiwa hii sasa hii ndo haiwezi endelea na mlishafanya proposal. We wanted a green light where our parents are okay with our union, and then we will do the proposal. So at this time when he's proposing, we have already done everything. And he had alikuwa ananiuliza kitambo unaweza taka proposal yako ikuwe aje. So I had told him, because again the first thing I told him was nataka ikuwe surprise, because mtu wangu na surprise alikuwa nje, ungenusa tu ungejua ndio hii surprise inakuja. So I used to tell him of all the things that I don't want to know, it is my proposal. Hiyo tunataka yani nikuwe surprise ile ukweli kabisa, hata nisi suspect at all. So I used to tell him this is how I want it. And then number 2, I used to tell him I want my proposal to be with my friends and my family, my close friends and my close family. So he was like, okay, sawa. So he proposed on the 3rd of December 2022. Yes, Indio. Yeah, that's when he proposed. So it was an early morning. I woke up in the Frog's Kingdom. So this morning I was supposed to go to Nakuru. I sing with a singing group. It's called the Messengers Ministers. So it's we met in campus and then formed a singing group. So we were to have some sort of a Thanksgiving party or something to end the year. And at the time, I was the secretary. So the chairperson actually told me, make a list in the group of people who will attend and tell people to wear their best, whatever, it's going to be a good dinner, blah, blah, blah. So I was the first on the list, like, I didn't remember mtu wangu tutakuwa na Thanksgiving dinner, blah. So
the chairman is going to spoil you guys.
The chairman, in the back of my head, I don't know that he actually planned with the chairman.
Oh my God.
So the chairman has come with, kila mtu anajua kwa hiyo group ni Thanksgiving na hatujai kuwa nayo, so it's like it's a new idea. We're like, wow, so we are going to have this. So he said we are going to have it. Hadi tukaambiwa hoteli kubwa, paka tunashangaa tunaenda hadi hoteli kubwa. Tuza hoteli Nakuru. So we prepared. So that day when I woke up, I had told him like I will be going to Nakuru for that event, and he had told me he's going to his cousin's place in Kitengela. So pia alikuwa ameamka asubuhi akasema sijui anaenda, ulikuwa unaenda chukue madhe muende Kitengela.
Yes, going to pick mom, go to Kitengela.
Go to Kitengela. So me left, when nimefika nikafika Nakuru. I traveled with a friend of mine. Tukafika Nakuru. So kufika Nakuru, my choir was in my home church. So I initially venye tulifika ilikuwa lunch time. So I called the chairperson and I was like, sisi tunaweza enda tu kwa venue direct, nyinyi mkikuja. Akakataa kusema hapana, venue hata imechange. I think hapo anataka tupatane alafu nifike huko. Akaniambia hapana, kujeni penye tuko saa hizi. So we went to my home church, tukapatana nao, tukaingia kwa gari. Now the chairman akaambia sasa treasurer. Sasa ikakuwa wawili ndo wanajua what's going to happen. So venye nilimwambia waka make sure amekaa na mimi kwa gari yenyewe tumekaa. Kakaa na mimi. Then the chairperson akaniambia, "Hebu nisaidie simu yako. Zile video nilichukua ni poa." So venye nilichukua simu yangu tulikuwa karibu kushuka. Akashuka na kadisappear na simu yangu. So mimi sijui ameenda wapi. So tukaamua tupande huko rooftop ati tungoje kuna vitu wana set. This whole time they are telling us it's a Thanksgiving and that we are having some sponsors who want to sponsor our group. So wanatuambia wana prepare vitu and then tutaenda huko kwa penye vitu zinaendelea. So this time apparently kumbe mtu wangu wako huko na watu wame prepare and whatever. Then during that time I think Amos alikuwa na simu yangu, Amos is our chairperson. I don't know what happened, akaingia TikTok live yangu. So when aliingia TikTok live, one of the ladies mwenye tulikuwa naye aka notice akasema, Mitch, kwani uko live? So ile I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I think akaambiwa mapema hiyo story. So akasema, hapana, hata si wewe, nimeconfuse, si wewe ndio uko live, nimeconfuse. Yeah, so we stayed there and then sasa wakatuambia, so the place now is ready, you guys can calm down. So members wote wakaambiwa teremke, then wakatuambia mimi na secretary, mimi kama secretary treasurer tubaki. So akaanza kutuambia, so tunaenda kupatana na sponsors. So Michelle, we will love you to tell the sponsors like the history of our group, how far we have come, the challenges we are having and everything. So like, okay, sawa. So mimi najua tunaenda kupatana na watu, it's yani tunataka kuambia watu mbona watu support. I know, yeah. So tukateremka na elevator, yeah, and then they opened the door and surprise, it's my proposal. So I saw like my whole choir were there, my brother, my nephew, his brother, all our close friends from Nairobi. Like they had traveled the way from Nairobi to Nakuru. They are there. Like it was a huge surprise. Wow. Yeah, like na siku suspect. You hata nilimwambia good job. Like I did not even suspect at all.
One good one.
Yeah, like that one. And then funny enough, even about my proposal ring, used a friend of mine who has been single his whole life. So this friend of mine texted me akaniambia, so I found somebody I want to propose, akanitumia the rings. Like I was so happy. Hadi nikakuja nikamwambia, "Kai, unajua nani amepata mtu?" Like I was so excited for him. Hadi akanitumia rings, akaniambia, "Unaona gani inaweza kuwa smart, gani dem anaweza penda?" So nilichagua kuna ni ring yangu. Exactly. Yeah, so basically that was our proposal.
Oh my god.
That's the only time deception is allowed.
Yes. Lakini alijikaza hiyo. Alijikaza kabisa.
Good job.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
I hope my sister will watch this. History ya kupoteanga usiku 7
Yes.
years ago. To know.
Yeah. And then he made sure our outfits were matching because he had told me, by the kama mmeambiwa mvai posi vai lengo yako ya purple. Like I was like, okay, so and funny enough, he had also worn the same. So at a point people thought that it was planned, but it was not planned. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Standard. Standard.
Yes.
So, what was the dowry payment process for you like?
Well, God help me through this. Well, I'd say the dowry process was pretty much vile tu tumezoea in the African setup. There has to be a push and pull of some sort. But I want to give a special appreciation to my father-in-law. I call him Mr. Weissman because he gave me a listening ear and the grace to understand where I'm coming from. So that process for me, I'd speak for me, it gave me a window to see how their family is. And it gave me a thankful spirit. Yes, I should say this. Textbook. The negotiation here, only daughter is always the hardest. So I was presented with a big hassle that she's the only daughter. She's the last born of a Kisi household.
Oh, yes, we did.
That is not an easy
task.
It wasn't an easy task.
And she's educated.
She's the daktari
She's the
in the
doctor.
family.
Yes.
She's a doctor.
It was like in the back of my mind I was like, yo,
So boy.
Hapa mambo.
the bill is going crazy.
Yeah.
But just having that negotiation period, and so I'd say for us, we had already talked about it during our courtship period.
Yes.
And having that, you'd already discussed extensively about the whole process, how we are going to both carry this thing as not buy and get, but more of an appreciation session, gave us a better harmonious conversation when we came to the parents. Of course, I was not doing the talking, but because
from
we had
my side, I was able to do the talking.
She was from her side. She was able to do the talking, and I know someone can pick up this conversation and say, "Also, Lenda kapunguza." No, remember, this is an appreciation, not a buy and sell. She's not a product. So just having that discussion with her parents, saying, "Hey, my man or my boyfriend, then, like this is the extent that he can go." But feel free to have that traditional banter, push and pull. Because again, your push and pull is not bad per se. It is more of a friendly banter. Ile kujua awewe fanya wewe songa awewe, you know, that banter is really nice. So we gave room for that. But at the end of the day, my father-in-law pretty much put in a word for me, and for me that was really humbling. That I wouldn't say it was very stressful. It wasn't. Niliongeza weight, but it was stressful. Your dowry negotiation, so it was very peaceful. And vile ilisha nilikuwa naangalia mzee like wewe mad love. Wewe utafurahi. Yeah.
Okay. So were there any interesting cultural traditions or modern twists?
Yes. So actually, I think now this is where we now bring in our life as content creators. So from jump, me, I was not into content creation. I was more of into media, mainstream media. Fanya show, structured TV, done. You content creation, I'm like, good, but nah, not for us. Not for me at least.
Yes.
So she started off with TikTok, and she brought me in during our cutting time. She brought me in Pole. I was like, oh, okay, kanabamba, but not for YouTube, because YouTube, hey, mtanza kukaa nifanye content here. Nah. So we opened our YouTube channel with the pure intention of showing people the Kisi culture.
Yes.
because we realize most of the times we borrow these things from other cultures, but no one has really gone ahead to show us the Kisi culture. And you'd find like our traditional negotiation. Now, every traditional negotiation, if it's not Koito, it's Rorashio.
Yes.
But we have our own, our Kisi one, which that's what we did. So we opened a YouTube channel to showcase these things. So for us, it was really a learning session for us, because as well, we didn't have a full understanding of everything, but we wanted to do it the traditional way, just to give our parents that respect, and also for us to learn these things, because I'd also want to give out my child or receive a child in the same light, just to keep our cultures alive and whatnot. So for us, from introduction to negotiation to now the send-off from her family, because there's also another send-off that she did from her family that is back in Kissing. Just through that whole session, then come to wedding where she was received at home. Those were learning points.
But there were touches of traditional aspects. For example, when we were paying my dowry, because now my dowry wazazi wakisha agree, when they had already agreed, the process usually in the Kisi culture is my father, my elder brother, and his brothers, my dad's brothers, are going to his place to pick up the dowry. And when they go, I am not there, my mother is not there. So out wanaenda kuchukua hiyo dowry. And they wait on the gate. They will not enter or eat until they are given that dowry. Wakipoa hivi kwa gate ndo wataingia ndani. So there was that bit of tradition. During like a week to the wedding, there is a tradition in the Kisi culture which is called Ekeragirio, where people just come to eat and see us off. It's done from my home. It's sort of like a pre-wedding, and people just wish me well from my village. Wakiniambia venye unaenda, wanabariki ndoa yetu. They also come. Wanakuja wanakula. Ipi hizi masherehe huyu ataongea. Fai atakuongea. Yetu ni kukaa tu kama bal.
Mimi na bal. Hapa.
Yes. So we had that, and then during the wedding, in the morning kuna hizo traditions zenye for us when he's coming in the morning to pick me up, because wedding kwanza inafanywa kwa msichana kwa Wakisi. So akikuja kwetu, there are things he comes with, like a sufuria, sweater ya mama yangu, suti ya baba yangu, blanketi, like there are those things. So kuna sherehe inafanywa hapo kwa gate. If they don't have that, they are not allowed to enter. The aunties wana deal with that. So they have to bring it in. Wazazi wangu wakipewa kwanza hivyo, alafu ninatolewa from my room, because he sees me first from the house. He doesn't see me in church the first time from the house. And then
just to confirm she's the one.
Yes, she's the one. And then they also eat kwetu. Lazima wakule kwetu pia. The guys, familia yake wenye wamekuja lazima wakule kwetu. So there's
and
that.
Also nikikula kwenu, there's napatiwa glass ya maziwa.
Maziwa ya
in Ikisi we call it amabera marurano.
Yes, fermented milk.
We didn't know we were going to display our culture. But I'm actually given that just to show where she's coming from.
Yes.
There's plenty.
Yes, exactly. So there's that. Then after the wedding, sasa kuna tena sherehe ingine ya kupokelewa kwao. Because wedding hata ishe saa 9 usiku, nafaa kwenda kwao nipokelewe. Hata ishe saa ngapi, lazima niende kwao. So kama si hatu setu ilikuwa Nakuru, it had to end nikuje Nairobi kupokelewa kwa mamake. So we traveled all the way. So kuna sherehe ya kupokelewa. So I travel with either my cousin or my sister. Mostly who are not married. And then I have a suitcase nye nimetolewa. Mamangu amenipakia kutoka kwetu. Sasa amenipakia hizo nakuja. So huyo cousin yangu ndo anatangulia amebeba suitcase, alafu mimi niko nyuma yake. So when she comes at the door, lazima mpatie pesa. Akipewa pesa, akikataa hata weka hiyo suitcase chini. Paka pesa yake atakubali, ndo anaweka suitcase chini, anawapatia. So a cousin of his also from the other side, or a sister, picks the suitcase, anaingisha ndani ya nyumba. And then mimi ile maua yangu nilitembea nao. So in Kisi culture, kama tunafanya harusi, natengenezewa maua mbili. Ile nye natembea nao down the aisle na ile nye nitawarushia, they are not the same. So nye nitawarushia ni different, nimepewa ingine. But nye natembea down the aisle napatia my mother in law. So when she receives it, she welcomes us in, and immediately anatupatia pia maziwa to show us when you have come to this family pia you will not lack. So kuna kwa sherehe, is there anything I've missed kwa hiyo sherehe?
No.
Yeah, so there's that aspect. Alafu saa basically umekaribishwa saa mnakula tena. Kukula, wow, hiyo siku unakula. Mnakula tena. Mkimaliza then like after a month tena sisi tukafanya sherehe nyingine inaitwa sherehe ugali kwa Wakisii.
What you say in Kikisi is better. Okay. When you say in Swahili, it sounds like we're glorifying ugali. Obokima.
Yeah.
Which is ugali, basically.
So it's done in 2 phases. The first phase, basically ni watu wa kwetu, auntie zangu, cousins, wanatumwa. Mamangu akuji, wanatumwa kuona naendelea aje. So they come to my mother-in-law's place. So wanakuja na ugali, imekwa kwa kitu inaitwa aka ya Wakisii ni ka basket. Na ni ugali ya brown. Alafu akinilipianga mahari alinatoanga mbuzi 2. So mbuzi moja inachinjwa kwetu inatumanishwa. Kama iko raw haijapikwa. And then sisi juu sasa nimeshaingia kwa familia yao, pia sisi tunapika ugali ya brown na mbuzi. Alafu wao wakifika au wanakula ugali yenye tumewapikia, si hatuikuli. Nye wameleta ndio sisi tunapika tunakula. Yeah, so basically alafu naulizwa unaendelea aje, how is the man treating you, like sasa lazima aunties wangu have your conversation.
Is he taking care of your needs?
So ugali ya kwanza ni ya mother-in-law inaletwa, then ugali ya pili ni yake na marafiki zake. Yeah, so you can see our culture is interesting.
Hata kimenibamba hapo ni kuwa the cousin. Nitatafuta mtu mwambie tukole Akisii lady, wewe ni cousin yangu. Mimi ndo naenda.
And by the beauty of having these cousins or sisters is pretty much to form a relationship. You see, that's the purpose, because ingekuwa ni mamake anamleta ana form relationship na nani, but in cousin or sister, so that when she's coming in, this person can form a relationship with the cousin or the sister from the other side, so that they also have a stake in this particular marriage. So it's not just about parents, but it's also that second layer of our makuzo, masis, our what, where they feel involved into this particular setup.
Wow, I love this culture. My culture, women don't have a say in anything. Wow. Imagine.
They have a say.
Actually, we also infuse something modern that is not in a Kisii tradition, where her mom came with her friends to our place to see where she's coming. No, actually, from jump, like before our marriage, walikuja kuona pale naenda. You know, traditionally it has been the men coming to do surveillance. So Mama Kelly come na her friends, and they got to meet my mom, so that they formed a relationship of some sort.
It was a big share.
So that's something that is not in a Kisii tradition, but infused something that will also like enable your relationship here, our moms and whatnot.
Yeah. Wow, that's something.
Yes.
So, describe your wedding day, and then what are your favorite memories of that wedding? Because girls
you wouldn't expect this. You wouldn't see this coming. What is your highlights? First, describe your wedding day.
My wedding day, how will I describe it? First of all, it was beautiful. I was looking forward to it. I was honestly looking forward to my wedding day. Nilikuwa nimengojea vibaya sana. Something that people probably will not expect about it. I was very tired on my wedding day. Like I was kwanza vile tu pastor alisema you are now husband, I was si kila mtu tuende sasa home. Like I was honestly tired. I think it was a heavy planning, because we planned like for 3 months and then now got married in April. So alafu yote mwenye tuna plan wedding sisi wote tunafanya job. So kuna job, kuna kupanga harusi, kuna vitu kama marriage certificate kwa unafanyia Nakuru. So there was also a lot of traveling to Nakuru. By the time we are doing our wedding, I was honestly tired. Mimi hata venye tu pastor alisema your husband and wife, ni kama tu akili yangu ili switch off. So I was like, I did not care. I was like, tuende tu home sasa. Imeisha
wako mwende.
Yeah, but I think my highlight was when now pastor said we were saying our vows. Like I think it hit me real like now. Sasa ni huyu mtu nakaa na yeye.
There's no escape.
Yani hapa kuna yani nimeamua ni huyu. I think for me that was a big a first highlight. And then my parents telling me like bye. It felt like I'm going. Sitawahi waona tena. It felt like I'm going like that was emotional for me as well. The rains, our wedding it rained. Alafu ili rain tu hapo kwetu kwa reception kwingine hakukunyesha na kunzima ni hapo tu kwa reception yetu exactly. So for me that I felt like it was a highlight for me and a blessing. And then my wedding song, like my choir wrote for me a song specifically for my wedding. That was big for me. It's called Harusi by the Messengers Ministers.
Oh my god. Yes. Is it on YouTube?
Yes, it is on YouTube. Yes.
Wow.
For you?
Before he continues, let me ask you a silly question. Don't laugh.
Yes.
I see the way, I don't know what happens. I don't know what the brides are fed. You guys don't feel like you want to go to the washrooms the whole day. You're just there with you.
Funny enough that so there are theories. There are people who say unafaa kulaba glucose au sijui unafaa sijui kufanya chumvi ya kuna yule anasema sijui unafaa kunywa maziwa na nini the previous night ndo usiende loo and everything. So funny enough that morning I was so anxious, like hata sikuwa na hiyo appetite, hata sikukula. I think that morning you just feel a lot of anxiety that even hakuna like because that I mean the whole time I don't think there was a time I felt like going to the toilet at all. Hakuna.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Then there was me. Went to the washroom twice.
Yes.
In your wedding day?
Yes. Me, I was not putting on a gown, it's a suit with a zipper.
Haraka.
Easy.
Maraka.
2 times. 1 because of anxiety, 2 because I was just pressed. I was fed, properly fed. So I was like, my mom, I'm not going to be pressed on my wedding day. So for me, my wedding day, I'd say, it was a transition period. Because I have been single for the 28 years of my life. Now, I'm going to be a married man. For me, for starters, for me was like, okay, status may change. Number 1. Number 2, the highlight was being received. So that was the first highlight. Like you see, I've gone to weddings and I've seen this thing. For me, for me, those weddings were events. For me, that was not an event.
It was yours.
This was for me.
Yes.
And watu walikuja wengi. Hey!
Video.
Everybody came in numbers. So for me, that was like, okay, this is happening. And just to experience that whole tradition and whatnot. And you see, when she was brought, I saw her sit at the other end. Me sit at this end. So alikuwa amewekwa katikati ya wazazi. I'm like,
wakijua
wewe coming here. So that for me was a nice moment. I should say nguo zenye watu bridal team walikuwa wamevalia
Zilikuwa kali. Yeah.
Really nice. And zilishonwa na niece wetu.
Yes.
Yeah. Zilishonwa na niece wetu na La Vista. It was they were really spotted. I also had friends who came through for me, and I think that's also one of the major highlights for us, that we were able to get a lot of support from our,
family and
friends.
Yeah.
Hiyo tunasema build a social capital is true.
Yes.
It's true, because we'd say our friends footed most of our bill for our wedding. So that for me was also another highlight. Kufika church kupatiwa msichana ile sasa, now go say salimia the parents and then wasonge ndo chukue mtu wako.
It was amazing.
That was nice. That was nice because I knew that was like after I have taken her, bye 0 consultation, they just come and inform you, thanks, now go then. Now the pastor, I also share the same highlights when the pastor was reading the vows. I was holding her hand na mwangalia ngozileza, I'm doing this
finally
with you for life. Leave alone the final ultimate date, but okay, there's this but then like, whew, let's do this. And the pastor telling us, you see when someone reads the verse then tells you, Rubu rudie chemesema. No, like, yes, you've said for rich and poor, repeat. Do you know, like, I saw this video, German, and like, pastor saying, for richer for poor. Michelle,
Do you know what a poor
have
man
you seen a
is
poor
like?
man? Are you sure you're going to do this,
Yes.
even if he's going to be poor? Yes. Like, just having that moment, it was nice. And I think after that, I share the same sentiments. I was tired.
Yes.
Because
But
we
you
didn't
were
have
tired.
event planners. We were planning everything with ourselves
Yeah.
and our brothers. The firstborn brother, my firstborn brother.
Wow.
They were like the main people when like tumemaliza, hebu kuja, come. So just having to do all that.
Yeah.
So we were tired. After that, we didn't want to eat. Like, si mwende tu kwenu. Kuja tu na dishes mchukue chakula muende.
Nishapata mtu.
Hey, the goal is done. Like, done, dusted, on to go home. Apokelewe home. Nilale. Because I think we started eating properly the next day. But it was a beautiful day.
For sure.
Beautiful day.
Let's talk about your honeymoon.
Yes.
Are there any memorable moments you'd like to share?
Over to you.
So now, we went for a honeymoon in our house.
Oh.
Yes.
We didn't go anywhere.
Uh-huh.
We didn't go anywhere.
And
For
it's
two
something we chose.
It was
by
very
the way.
deliberate.
It was not at
Very deliberate. For two reasons. One, it's good actually. I'm not saying people to apply this. No. This is for us. So we decided not to go for honeymoon for two reasons. One, we needed to set our home first.
Yes.
Like, there's no need to go and sleep at a high-end hotel, yet kwako uko na ka 3x6. Viti zako ni zile za bachelor and whatnot. We decided, let's take this time to set our home first.
Yes.
And we took that first 2-3 weeks, actually the first month, to be in our place, get comfortable in our house. So we really invested in our house first.
Yeah.
Then after that, the other reason is that there was someone very close to us who came through for us during the wedding, and after the wedding, he had an emergency. So like, pesa ya honeymoon.
Yeah.
Do that,
Yes.
even as we sort our house. Then after that, a year later, now that's when we actually
Went for honeymoon.
went for honeymoon.
Yes.
And remember, we didn't have a rush to get kids. So
It
the
was
first year was a honeymoon.
Yeah.
The first year was our honeymoon. Like, we were doing things just the way we like it,
Yes.
at the pace we like it, and just also enjoying our first year to be able to set a good precedent for marriage.
Yeah.
Because again, I appreciate people who actually get into marriage and get kids. Good for them. But for us, we wanted to set a good base. Again, we're still young. We're in our late 20s. We are not in our mid 30s. People who need to go jump in. We need to set a good ground,
Yes.
a good rhythm, pace of how we deal with issues. Even in time when we're going to be blessed with kids, we'd say we took a good period to form a good base for our children to build on. So that's what we did, and right now we're just praying for God. Sasa wewe Mungu, fanya vile unataka.
Yeah.
Fanya vile
But
unataka.
basically, yeah, that's how we spent our first month. Our highlight of that, because it was more of like our
It was a
honeymoon,
honeymoon.
was that tulikuwa tunatembea tunakula food kwa mahoteli.
Everywhere.
Because the first month my husband was like, we are going to still spend it like a honeymoon. We are not going to cook. So leo tulikuwa tunakula hiyo hoteli. Tunasema, hey, hoteli ya food hata hivi. Next day tunajaribu hiyo hoteli ingine. So it was so fun for us. Yeah, we
The
would
first,
undertake
yeah, for us the first few weeks we didn't cook in our house.
Yes.
Nah.
Yes.
To you know, go for hikes, she hated hikes, my gosh.
Yes, exactly.
But we did all these activities and we didn't tell anyone, we didn't meet anyone. It was just sisi wawili peke yetu in our own bubble.
Hata hakuna mwenye alijua penye tunaishi.
No one.
Yeah.
No. So yeah, it was.
Well, I like that. You know how some people are, especially in-laws, she's not giving birth, she'll be mine. You see how they come on your head like that. And then, they're not even cooking. That's
It was on us.
Yes.
We didn't want visitors.
Yeah.
Just us.
She's not cooking for her brother.
Tunakuja mingi.
Yeah, I really like that you took your
Yes.
time. So, how long have you been married now?
We have been married for 1 year and 3 months.
Oh,
Yes.
how has been the marriage life been?
so far I can say it's been amazing. Again, because even taking back from our dating, we have been intentional in our marriage. We know that every day it's conflict resolution. We know that we are going to as much as make this work as possible. Yeah, because we have even told ourselves we are going to call it quits on grounds of violence, what else? Death. Yeah, vitu kama hizo.
And when either of us has grown a big head, in the sense that we are having an unrepentant spirit to something that as a constant thorn in the marriage.
Yes.
That is only on the grounds of infidelity.
Yes, for sure. So, of course, but the first year, I can say it has been like a honeymoon year. Like, vitu tu zimekuwa smooth. Again, challenges zimekuwa. Because now this is a time where we are now living together. Yeye amekuja na opinions zake. Mimi kuna venye nataka tuishi, kuna venye anataka ishi. Now our ideas are clashing. And then I believe also, even when we are entering marriage, I felt like my husband had entered marriage with a lot of expectations. And we learned that expectations are not going to work in marriage, because when utakuwa crushed, utakuwa umeset expectation alafu mtu deliver venye unataka. So there was also that bit where we had now to sit down and talk that you cannot have expectations on me as a wife, and they cannot have them on you as a husband. So naweza sema ilikuwa poa, imekuwa poa.
I'd say this, by the way, it's good to get married to someone who's exposed and educated. But it's also dangerous. This is why. Someone who's exposed and informed and, smart enough will actually argue things out. And be like, aiwezi, apana, and whatnot. Unlike someone who's not had this experience, because why? Atakuja tu na traditional thinking. Tuende, mzee umesema, tuende. Wewe ni ng'ombe, tuende. But you see, for us, we have to actually present points. We debate it out.
Intellectual,
everything has to make logical sense. We're not just going to work with emotions. And if they're going to be like, it will be one-off, So it's beautiful, because I feel like we've also created a precedence where she's not a wife wa kufuata. She's a partner. We sit at the same table, we discuss. She has equal rights and opinions to our marriage, just as I do. As much as I'm the priest of the home, she's not my subject. She's my partner, she's my equal. So it's good, but it's not easy. So we're always meeting at the button like, yo. But I'd say this, I'd honestly do this again and again, rather than having someone who's just going to follow me. Because we've been able to create a precedence where we know what is happening in our marriage. She's very much equipped that if I'm not there, she can handle anything. She's not. She would speak for me anywhere because she knows my thinking. She knows everything that I would say and whatnot. So just empowering her to that level, that knowing, see, when you talk about female empowerment, here's where the basis of empowerment starts. If she's going to be a subject, she'll go out there to look for empowerment. And that's where you'll get radical thoughts and whatnot. But you're having empowerment from the home basis. There won't be need to now jump on a rally of feminism. I'm not saying it's bad, it's good. But then there are radical ends and whatnot. So just creating that basis, it has been beautiful. And I can confidently see myself 5 years from now. Sijui pale niko, don't ask me that question. Or we see ourselves, but I know it's going to be a beautiful place because of the rhythm that we've created for our marriage.
And again, for us, marriage is about complementing each other, not competing. We remind ourselves that every day.
Wow, thank you. Right now, as you stand there, as you sit there, do you have kids now? Or if you do, how old are they? And how can you describe the kids? And what are the methods that you raise them, and maybe the beliefs that you want to instill in them to grow up to be productive members of society?
So yes, we have children. We have kids. They're in our imagination. They're up here. So we have not been blessed with kids yet, but we are prayerful about it, that God helps us through the journey. But we have been active. We have been actively parenting my brother's kids. My brother is not in the country, so There's now he has 3 kids in the country, so we're always just keeping up with them and knowing how they're going. I wouldn't say that's like the best example of what parenting is, but just having that orientation into parenthood and seeing the challenges that parenting has, we've pretty much learned from both of our brothers, and that has given us a window of seeing, okay, this is how it's gonna be, and it also given us points to learn from their strengths and their weaknesses, and also learning from our parents. Like this is like the best time you actually start and realize. So our parents parented us like this. I will do this or not do this. Our brothers are doing this. I will copy this. I will not copy this. And from where we sit now, this is the extent of parenting you can parent by extension, because ni wao, ni wetu, yes, but ni wao. You know, so we are parenting by extension and knowing, okay, I will do this and do this. So I'd say we're in a learning curve where we've had that privilege to see our parents and our brothers parenting.
Just to add on what he has said, the topic about children is something that we talked about during our marriage counseling. We had that conversation, and we had intentionally decided that in our first year of marriage we are not going to get kids. It was something that for us we wanted to have a plan, and the idea of having children for us was we need a plan, because a child is like 30 years of your lives have changed. So I need a financial plan, I need this plan, I have to have a plan. I cannot just bring a child without a plan. So for us, that was our first conversation. We also had conversations of what if God doesn't bless us with kids, because again, kids are a gift from God. Let's have this conversation. What if God blesses us with a disabled child? What are we going to do? Because again, these things happen. So it was important for us to have these conversations and understand each other that this is not going to be a deal breaker in our marriage. What solution are we going to have if God does this or this happens? So we had those conversations, and I can say they have been helpful in our marriage. And now, speaking about how we desire to be parents, I agree with him that yes, we have people to look up to, that we say, even from our parents, there are things that they did and we're like, I love to take this to my child, like this is something I want to do to my child. And there are things that they did to us maybe that we are like, no, I will not do this to my child. And of course, even with our current society, there are things we look at, and for us we are like, hii mi sitafanyia mtoto wangu. Yes, other people can do it, but mi sitafanyia mtoto wangu. Kama mtoto wangu najua hii story ya sijui mtoto anaekwa kwa kona afikirie what anasemanga hiyo isifanya, like what are you thinking as a child? What are you thinking about what you have done? Yeah, so there are those things that of course we see and we say that we are going to implement this. On my husband's side, he comes from a lesser point of privilege because he did not grow up with a dad, so he does not have a manual on how to be a father. The only father figure he has right now is my father-in-law, who it's not like he has spent his entire life with him. And so for him, he tries to even read books and see dads and, get those ideas of this is something I would like to do as a dad, and maybe from his own perspective, how he'd want to be a dad. Yeah.
I'd also like to add volume on this subject of parenting. So when I study right now where baby mama and baby daddies are common, it's like a pandemic.
Yes.
Like people are like, pada mtoto tu, I'm like,
and co-parenting.
And co-parenting is a thing. It's a bad idea. It's generally a bad idea. And also understanding the responsibility of parenting from a spiritual point of view, you'll realize you won't recklessly want to impregnate someone. You need to be very intentional and respectably know that the responsibility this woman is going to have is very heavy. Just having that background knowledge of what God expects us as parents to be to our children and the responsibility that it comes with, it's very heavy that you should not just be a parent because you have the capability to impregnate someone. Apana. It has to be very intentional, very prayerful, that you just don't walk blindly, and you need to prepare yourself, not just psychologically, but also socially, financially, and all these things. And that's what we've been investing on. That If they come, we praise God that they will be there and we'll have prepared ourselves. Of course, you can't be 100% prepared, but don't just be a parent because she's pregnant.
Yeah.
Nah, you prepare ourselves and whatnot. And I look at it this way: we are in a society right now where you can't be an oops parent. You can't be an oops parent. At you, it'll happen. You can't afford that. Vitu ni mingi. Zakayo anafanya ile kitu.
Yeah, for
Timing.
sure, I guess.
Actually, I wanted to ask if your brother's kids are old enough to go for my
No.
They can do that kwa nyumba. Kwa nyumba. Wacha waandamane kwa nyumba.
Yes.
But I like hearing their political views. Of course, they're not shaped properly, but ile aki ukisikia mtu anaangaja hata siku zile za hauelewi kitu unasema.
But ni sawa,
Sema tu. Mbona kwa nini sema tu? But you see, that's how you form like opinions and just build on the understanding and whatnot. So just to hear them speak, I'm like, okay. Andamana tu kwa nyumba wao, andamana tu and whatnot.
It's okay if you don't answer this.
Yes.
It happened to this lady Nyaboke.
Yes.
Her daughter just died.
Yes,
and
yes.
people are claiming that she committed suicide because of her mom.
Yes.
Her mom has been abusive.
Yes.
What would you say about that?
Again, personally, when I saw the story on social media, first of all, I felt so sorry for her because, again, I don't think it's fair for any parent to bury their child.
Yeah.
I think it should be, like,
painful.
as children, we should be the one burying our parents and not vice versa. So, first of all, I was sorry for her. Number two, when people pointed out about her being a toxic mom, I really wanted to understand her point of view because, again, we don't have a story. So, I don't know if really you are a toxic parent, or maybe as a parent you had tried everything you could with your child, and now maybe your child is also taking this like toxicity, and it's not, because even parents were raising the issue of we are raising a generation where people have the voice, and even if you do any small thing, unajua sisi during our time hata mama wako angekunywa nywele wewe unaona bado unapenda, unaona hitu ni discipline, hii ni discipline tunaekewa, but right now if it happens, a child can take it as a toxic parent. So for me, I really would love to hear her side of her story. Yes.
I also want to add voice, not directly in line with the parenting style that Nyaboke has done or anything to do with that, but for me it's from a theological, not a theoretical point, because looking at how generations have been, I feel like we are breeding a weak generation, where we have romanticized the ideas of depression, where if your parent is disciplining you, that's a toxic environment and whatnot. So just with the fact that we are breeding a very weak generation, any small thing is a big thing, which it shouldn't be, you know. So I'm not talking about Nyaboke, but I think we also need to come back to appreciate what our parents did, but also looking for where we can, in a smart way, borrow and apply to the children, so that we don't build a weak generation. Because a weak generation only makes life softer. Just we're looking at a degrading kind of lifestyle they're going to bring. So again, we need to, like, in an intellectual way, look at how parenting should be, and understand that we need to bring a generation that is going to be strong enough that vitu ndogo ndogo zisikuwe kitu yenye nasema I'm depressed, my mom is toxic, and nah man, my dad is up. Let's look for a better way of addressing these things.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
First, you're a parent. Be a parent. Ikifika place you mtu yako na opinion, and you can actually sit and discuss, mwambie okay, this is bad and not, and pale inabidi kuwe ngumu to an extent, so that you see, again, I'd say parents know the limits to the children. I'm not saying they have a full understanding, but umekana mtoto unazajua limit yake pale imefika. So let's not take our kids to the tipping point where they're like, me I give up. Hapana.
Yeah, also, and then another thing with how things run in Kenya is, as Kenyans, we're always fast to judge. Yeah. Like,
very fast to judge.
And to react. Things turn around in a massive way. Because even with this whole story of Nyaboke losing a child, I've not heard anyone say, si tusikie side ya Nyaboke.
Yeah, people
Like
don't-
what happened? Like why are we just buying this idea and not hearing from the parent? Because again, I believe akunanga parenting style. Kila mtu anatry, anaona nye mimi hii ndio mimi naona ina work. Everyone hakuna timenu ya venye unafaa kuparent mtoto. So I would really love to hear her side of the story. Maybe she has something totally different than what we are getting. Yeah.
And I'd say family dynamics are different.
Yes.
Very different. That we should not be very, very fast to, pull a trigger to whoever. And also, but borrow this example, it's not really a parent to parent, it's not a parent to child, but siblings to sibling, is when Mkuru lost his brother. People were quick, very fast to say, Nini muna make pesa huku. We
Unaongelelea mental
know.
health brother yako, but you don't know.
We don't know the family dynamics that
maybe these guys tried. Maybe
these guys, we don't know. The fact that we don't know, leave it. Yani wachana nayo. It's not for us.
The story came now turned around.
Yes.
Like they were really helping him, but he was far gone.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there's nothing you can do for someone who's decided to do whatever they want to do.
For
So,
sure. Yeah.
before we throw stones, get the full story.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. So now let's come on to light things.
Yes, for sure.
How do you balance your career life and your family life?
For me, I think it's easier because number one, when I come to my house, I don't want to be a doctor. I don't like the title is out there, but in my house, I am just a wife. I am not going to present myself in a bigger pedestal just because I am a doctor. I am as submissive as I can be to him because again, I am submissive because of how he loves me. That is what shows my submission. To me, by the way, that's the definition of submission. I'm submissive because of how he loves me. So outside, I'm able to balance my career, and in my home, I'm able to be a wife. Again, I am glad that my husband has not written to me a to-do list of how I need to be a wife. He has not said, oh, ukifika home nafaa kupata maji yangu imekuwa kwa bafu, nafaa kupata kachai kameandaliwa, mimi nafaa kukuja nikae, because even there are days I'm late at work and I find he has prepared dinner. Yeah, there are days hata yeye anamkanga anaosha vyombo, mimi nikiamka napata kitchen iko safi na hata amepika breakfast because again we have not given each other roles that sasa wewe ndio unapanga mangoni zako, wewe ndio unafaa kufua, wewe ndio unafaa kufanya, and it makes it easier in marriage. Even in terms of finances, we have not said that lazima wewe ndio uko kilipa rent, na kama hiyo time hana, what happens, are we going to be locked out because we have given each other that. So for us that has helped us. Yeah.
Empowerment.
You got a real one. You got a real one. No, I see. Yes.
So I wouldn't say when you say balancing, that means there's something that is heavier than the other. Ideally. So for us, marriage is I wouldn't say it's a balance. It's a flow.
Yeah.
Like akiwa kazi sana, we lean that side. Like it has to flow. It has to, and hakuna checkbox for us to like. You're now being a good husband. Check. We don't have that. We don't have that. So that at least we give each other grace to fail. We give each other grace to overperform, overdeliver. And having that basis that has helped us to empower each other. Because there are times that I even help her with her work, not doing the surgery, but other aspects about her work that she needs help from me, and vice versa. So I would say we're not. The balancing has not been a hassle per se, because we've not again got into the field of parenting, of actually having kids now to juggle A, B, C, D. But from where we sit, would say our marriage, our life, our hustle and everything has been a flow where leo sijiwezi, kesho najiweza. It's we've just been flowing. We've been able to create a rhythm that works for us. Yeah.
What are the family traditions that are special to you? Maybe the ones that you've come up with. This is going to be our family tradition, and we follow this through.
Take us through. You have points. Tell us.
Number one, for us, we all eat at the dining table.
Yes.
It's a mandatory. Hakuna tilio dining table. Number two, no phones at the dining table. No phones.
Let's just have a conversation.
Let's talk, let's bond, let's know how your day was. Number three, lights out, phones out by 11 p.m. Actually, no calls from 10, and then lights out, phones out by 11.
Yes.
That for us helps us to, re-energize ourselves and also think through about our marriage and whatnot.
That's cute.
Something else that we have also been able to incorporate is communication to our family. Just because we are living together, we are not in an island. We have society around us.
Yes.
So when it comes to issues to do with family, when help is needed either way, be able to carry our weight and supply and be equal to both sides.
Yeah.
If it's in regards to finances, we just don't do it one way. It's both ways and whatnot. Another tradition that we have stuck with is prayer. We pray and have a devotion every night.
Yeah.
Not unless we are all tired beyond excess that we sleep like a cabbage and the end of the time unapata mtu amelala kwa kiti things, not unless it's that bad. So those are some of the few traditions we've borrowed. Yeah, and I wouldn't say much about Christmas because we only had one Christmas. I didn't enjoy home. Yeah, so tutaanza kuongeza kani nyama choma and blah blah blah. Yeah.
And maybe birthdays.
Birthdays are important to us.
For me, it wasn't a big deal until I got married into his family, and I realized for my mother-in-law, birthdays are a big deal.
Wow.
Yeah, because even I think this year, my birthday passed and I had not told my mother-in-law. And then I told her, and then she was so disappointed that I had not told her. And then one day she just surprised me with a birthday cake.
Aww.
That it's, and I realized for her it's a very special thing to have her daughters celebrate, even her grandchildren, her sons. And that's something that I was like, I would love to do this also for my kids. Yeah.
Do you have a small brother?
No.
Unfortunately, he's the last one.
Too bad.
Yeah.
So what are your family aspirations? Like, where do you see yourself as a family in the next 5 to 10 years?
I don't like this question because I don't have an answer. But only see us in a place where God would lead us.
Yes.
There are no landmarks to say this is where we would be. Because again, if it's in regards to parents, any gift. Ikikuja, I will tell you where we'll be. To grade 2 or whatever, But for us, I just know I'll be busy making my wife the best woman. That is my business. I'll be busy making our family be in a better financial position. If it's in lines to content creation, we'll be busy making content that is not just entertainment. Content that mtu ataka aseme, I'm watching you guys because I'm learning a lot about ABC to do with marriage, ABC to do with youthful interaction, ABC to do with what. So we are busy working on ourselves that any addition that will come, ni gift from God. Oh, thanks. Now we can plan for that. Yeah.
For sure. If you were to give any advice to newlyweds, what would you tell them?
Again, number one, marriage is about complementing each other and not competing. That is something we have seen in our marriage. And number two, that even as a wife, you are married not to be a subject, but rather to complement each other in marriage, because that has helped a lot. And then number three, openness in marriage is quite important, especially in issues like finances, issues like sex. Those are things that are very important because they will either break or keep your marriage alive. Even communication. Yes.
I'd say this to newlyweds and also guys who are looking to getting into marriage. It's going to be very controversial, but I'll say it regardless because that's my standpoint. We need to come to a place where we need to appreciate women and our wives will always make more money than us. Always. So if you're a guy and you're saying, I have to be making a lot of money, you need to reevaluate your viewpoints because look at how society is moving. There are a lot more female empowerment programs than men. And if there are going to be programs that are going to be aligned to men, itakuwa ya kwenda gym, kwenda kukimbia and whatnot, not directly related to financial empowerment, you know. So we need to appreciate that in a society, women are going to make a lot more money, so let's not compete with them. Apana. Secondly, let's avoid this argument of, let's not have a textbook of what submission is. Submission is very biblical, but if you come with archaic thinking about what submission is, you're just going to break your marriage. Or if not break your marriage, you're going to start your marriage in a very difficult precedence where there will be a textbook or a marking scheme where she's going to always try to live up to. And when she fulfill your list, then you know your list yako ni heavier. Because again, if there's that scheme where she needs to fulfill, she will fulfill her end. Because women know how to meet to that. Kucheck, they will check everything. Akimuza na kuangalia gari iko wapi, shamba iko wapi, and things like this. So give each other grace. That you can. Someone will be comfortable to fail, comfortable to pick up, and comfortable to be best. Lastly, empowerment starts from home. Let's not wait an external program.
Yes.
Let's not wait for people to do something out there and they'll be like, babe, enda itakusaidia. Hapana. The moment to empower our wives from home, manzi will have a good marriage. Because I don't think, no, unless it's something new that I'm not aware of, that my wife does not know. Finances, she knows. Everything, I've made that deliberate effort to rope her in, make her aware and all these things, so that she's in a position to make a decision even when I'm not, or even when I'm just being a boy. Because there are those days, when there are days that she's just being a girl, and I need her to be my wife. Like, be more. So we're able to be ourselves. The days when I'm a boy, she's like, "Ukona utoto leo," but and other example, I'm not feeling bad because leo I'm just feeling lazy. She's feeling baby girl treatment. We're able to comfortably enjoy those moments and not bash each other out because you need to be. Empowerment starts from home, and start it at that point, and you'll be able to enjoy your marriage in a way that God desires.
Wow.
For sure.
What's the most important lesson that you've learned in your marriage?
Wacha mimi nianze bibi.
Okay.
Aseme points zako.
Yangu ni moja.
What have you learned?
Wachana na expectations kabisa. Expectations is just a setup to disappointment.
Kabisa.
Both ways. Not just for men alone, both ways. Forget about expectations, wachana nayo. Utajam. Unakasirika. Mbona upiki? Mimi mdogo. Forget about expectations. Create a rhythm that works for the both of you.
Yeah. It works. I think for me, I have learned in marriage forgiveness. Hey. Marriage utasameheana. Hey. Hata kama kwa mtu wa kusamea, in marriage we learn how forgiveness works. Yeah. Because you wake up this day amekuboa hajafanya hii, you wake up the next day hajafanya hii. Like marriage, you forgive every day. You're 70 times 7 unaisamea every time in marriage. Yeah, I have learned forgiveness.
Wow. And also every day. It's a conflict resolution
day.
I'm not saying that you'll fight every day, but just building that mental stamina to be able to forgive and actually confront issues. Not that you're saying when in mbaya, but this is the issue at hand. So let's deal with this issue. Like, but it's a skill that I feel should be taught from huko chini. Because conflict resolution is one of the key things people need to know, and marriage is all about that. Yeah.
Sure. So finally, as we conclude,
yes,
what does bond of love mean to you?
Take it away.
Bond of love to me is intentionality. Bond of love to me is communication. Bond of love to me is memories, both good and bad, that brings a smile to you.
Thank you.
That is bond love to me.
Yeah. I feel for me, when I think about bonds of love, I feel like these are the things that are connecting and linking us up to remind us each day of what we share in our marriage. I feel like it's even from the small things that happen in my marriage. Things like the heart of gratitude. I see that in my husband every day. Hata nikimserve, ataniambia asante, hata kama ni maji, he will always remember to have a grateful heart. I see that a lot. I see so much love in my marriage. I see so much grace. I'm given grace to I can fail and still pick up and still rise, because he reminds me every day in my marriage that I am not competing with anyone to be his wife. I am already his wife. There is no competition. Hakuna timu kwenye kuna mtu ataitwa hapa apike kuniliko. Kama sijui kupika nitajifunza. There's like, I'm given grace every day to fail and rise up and continue. I'm given grace every day to be myself. So I see that in my marriage a lot, and I think that for me defines the bonds of love in our marriage. Yeah.
Wow.
And lastly, bonds of love for me is the grace that God has given us to enjoy this special gift of marriage, and just to see. You see, when we're talking about all these experiences, I look at her, and as the priest of the home, I look at how much grace God has given me. I'm like, hey, this here is an exhibit of God's grace.
Yeah.
And just to appreciate God's presence in our life, God's works in our lives. This extends the intensity of what bonds of love is to us. That we get to experience this thing every day with God's grace. Yeah.
Oh my God. Thank you very much.
Thank you.